Hey guys, it's Virtual from Zenith Corporation, and you guys asked for this video, so I'm making it happen. In this video and the next one, I'm going to be showing you how to re-enter the atmosphere safely and effectively. This video actually, this first one is going to be the basic way that most people use that works great for small ships, and then I'm going to show you in the next video what I actually do when I re-enter that tends to work well for me. So, yeah, so right now we're actually just going to be flying this small ship. It actually doesn't weigh very much. Yeah, there you go, only 21.5 tons. So very, very light ship. And in this method, we're just going to be going straight down toward the planet, toward the waypoint, and then pulling up in the atmosphere to level ourselves out. Now, some things I'd like to point out is that you don't want to re-enter in an orbit like you would in real life. Although a lot of the physics in DU is realistic, lithobraking is not possible. I don't suggest you try to lithobrake in any way, shape, or form. If you have, say, if this waypoint was over here on the top of the planet, I would just adjust my trajectory to above the top of the planet, like maybe right there, and then I would come to a stop above the waypoint and just go straight down to it. I'd also like to remind you that logging off instantly stops your ship, so if you're in a pinch and you can't slow down fast enough, you can always just log off, or you can force respawn to the res node on your ship and the ship will come to a stop. So that's pretty helpful. I talked a lot about the physics that has to do with the speed at which your ship burns in a previous video. I think it's the concepts of atmospheric flight in DU or something. But that's on the channel. You can go check that out if you want. And I do highly recommend watching that. I think it's pretty helpful. Obviously, I'm biased. But anyway, it's there for you to use if you so choose. So this isn't a perfect representation of a reentry because I actually, I came from my base, just flew out 10 SU and then came back, accelerated to like 8,500 kilometers per hour. So at least it's pretty close. But yeah, like I said, you want to line up with your actual waypoint like this. That's the best thing to do. Now, hopefully your ship has space brakes, and keep in mind that control actually slows your ship down in space. It turns on the space brakes, and that's going to be useful. Um, with a little bit of math and or some Lua scripting, you can actually figure out what your braking distance is going to be. I'm not really going to bother. But, maybe it's still good to know, especially if you're in a big ship. Now, the white stripes appear at 2,000 kilometers per hour. And another interesting fact is that 1 SU is 200 kilometers, so you can use that to calculate some more things if you so choose. Now, the method that I'm about to show you is highly dependent upon how much lift your ship has. Now, if you come down into the atmosphere straight down, you need to be able to pull up in, the 3 kilometers of atmosphere you have before you hit the ground. Lighter, faster ships are easily capable of this, like the one I'm flying. However, heavier ore haulers, not so much. So if you're dead set on landing your heavy ore hauler nose down, do it over the ocean. Because when you're in the water, your vertical booster / hover engine is on all the time. So you have that big buffer zone. You could splash down into the water and go potentially all the way to the ground while your hover engine slows you down. Also, you should keep in mind your space brakes and your atmospheric brakes. I suggest that you have at least 1 G of braking force. You should be able to slow down very effectively as you come down to the planet. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and start slowing down here. Keep in mind that if you think that you can't slow down in time, you can always spin your ship around and throttle up, and you'll come to a stop real quick. I'm not going to do that now because I don't want the video to take too long. You might be asking also, why am I making these 2 videos? The reason is because I don't have a lot of time. Editing takes a while, and I usually do these videos in 1 take because I don't have enough time to actually edit it. Because of school and stuff like that. So, such is life. Although it's 2 videos, hopefully you'll be able to glean the same useful information from them. Now, because I know the ship is easily capable of pulling up in the atmosphere, I'm not going to bother going over the water. But I highly recommend that you do a couple test reenters before actually doing the real thing. Also keep in mind that the atmospheric altitude on different planets is different. So on Feli, you've got like 100 kilometers of atmosphere. A lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people end up burning up when they get close to Feli because they're like, oh, the atmosphere comes out, you know, maybe not 100, I don't remember how far it is, but I think I burnt up once at 100, but that was earlier, and I was going 30,000. But that being said, atmospheres change. Aleoth is actually the hardest to re-enter because the atmosphere is so thin and the gravity is so high. So just keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that you can feel free to do course corrections as you come down by firing perpendicular to your angle. So if I want to point toward my waypoint, I can just burn like that. Now, as you can see in the top right, we've actually got an altitude now, and the gravity is quickly increasing. So now if I hit my brake, it doesn't struggle quite yet, but it's starting to take a while. Now when you re-enter the atmosphere, depending on your ship, you probably want to be going about 1,000 kilometers per hour. 1,000 is a good rule. You'll be safe at 1,000. I wouldn't recommend going faster, but you can if you know the limitations of my ship, or of your ship. And like I said, information on that is in the atmospheric flight video. And yeah, there's also a bunch of techniques that maybe not a lot of people know about that you can use to prevent your ship from burning. Yeah, so once again, I'm just going to be coming down straight into the atmosphere and occasionally clicking my brake to maintain the good speed. A lot of people will be like, I want my wings to produce lift, I don't want to slam into the planet, so they're going to start burning like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you what happens. Now if I burn horizontal like this, that's great, but look, I'm still accelerating, right? So when I have to hit the brakes to slow down again, and then that trajectory just comes right under me. So it's not actually a good technique to burn perpendicular once you start getting into the higher gravity regions. Like when it's at 0.4 Gs, yeah, go for it. But don't think you can level your ship out to just come down at a nice soft angle. You're not going to be able to do that, because by the time you're at that nice soft angle, you're at burn up speed. So the atmosphere starts getting real dense at 3,500. You'll want to be going 1,000 kilometers per hour when that happens. And as you can see, I'm re-entering right now, and no issues at all, and I can just level out with the ship. A lot of ships you'll want to actually give it a bit of thrust before you level out, and just so that you can pull your velocity vector out. Also, I touched briefly on the stall angles of the wings and other items like that. Keep in mind that if you have ailerons and you try to fly into the atmosphere like that, you're actually going to stall, and then you'll just fall straight down to the ground, and that's not a good time. Stabilizers in general are better for re-entering the atmosphere because of their low stall angle. And then once again, like I said, lithobraking is not a good system. Always remember, don't try to lithobrake like you would in Kerbal Space Program or something like that. It's only going to end in a big fiery mess. I don't recommend. You can go ahead and test that. And then once again, the reason for that is orbital velocity is about 4,000 kilometers per hour, and that's 4 times how fast it is for you to burn. Anyway, I hope this video was useful. Definitely go check out the next one, which will be uploaded right after this, I believe. And in that video, I'm going to be going through probably the best re-entry method. This re-entry method's great for the small ships, but if you're carrying 1 kiloton of ore, it's just not going to cut it. Anyway, thanks for watching once again. If you're interested in Dual Universe, there is a link in the description. If you're interested in joining Zenith Corporation, there is a Discord link in the description. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I do read all of them, so I'll get back to you on that. Also, a side note, in a month we're going to be hosting an aerospace expo on our island right now, so we've actually just began building the runways. This is actually 7 large cores. It's a lot of large cores. But anyway, I will see everybody later. Check out the next video.